Welcome back to Open Source. I'm here with Peter Antico. Let's talk Hollywood tech. You talk about blockchain. We've talked about AI. Do you see those two working together? Do you see any other technologies that we throw in the mix? Like, what's your sense of all that?
I mean, people have to get educated to blockchain. I mean, they were talking about putting, I think Elon Musk was talking about putting the U.S. government on a blockchain, to make sure that the finance is transparent. Because, when you don't have transparency, blockchain allows you ultimate transparency. And you can't hide, you can't cheat, you can't do anything. It's really an ethical, uh, honest ecosystem. And the entertainment business could certainly use that. A lot of times, I mean, you've got, cast and crews that many times don't get the residuals or the remuneration that they should get. I mean, a movie like, Rayman, 30 years ago, it made 300 million. The budget was 20 million, and the writer had to sue to get his royalties after the movie made 300 million. Won't happen with blockchain. It's, it's immutable. It's transparent, and you can't cheat. So it's a much better way to organize, finance, and it's a much better way to get people to view content. Because in the world of cryptography, I mean, you got a billion people that are dealing with different kinds of cryptocurrencies. And then you have, the Bitcoin and the Bitcoin maximalists, which I believe in. So I would have to say, if you're using these methodologies where people could support what they want to support, then you're taking guesswork out of it. Because again, if you want to see a film, with Dennis Quaid and Sandra Bullock, and they're pitching a project for X amount of dollars, they could sell tokens to that. And if the subject matter, like it's Nikolai Tesla, they can all support it. And once the tokens are sold out, they're done. Just like Bitcoin, there's only a finite amount for each film. So
So
then,
let me jump in with AI, right? Because you were talking about before about AI, and how it really is undermining artists' rights. Is blockchain potentially the solution there?
yes, blockchain can contain AI, the right kind of blockchain. So most blockchains have expanding ledgers, which means like you have Ethereum, BTC, they're like linear, like planes on a runway. The more people that use them, the slower they get, and the more gas fees or the more transaction fees. The blockchain that we're using, the Jingo's blockchain, the more people that use it, the more nodes are online, the faster it gets. It scales on its native layer one chain. Where Ethereum, if they wanted to scale it, they would have to use a layer two like Plasma and Polygon on top of it. And even Bitcoin has a Lightning network. If you want to send money, faster, you have to fund the chain, but there's vulnerabilities there. The most secure when you're dealing with Bitcoin is peer to peer on the native layer one chain to a native layer one chain. That's the only way to go if you're going to do that for security. So the tokenization that's happening, people are using Ethereum and other inferior blockchains, like Solana or Polygon. And the bottom line is that, those don't scale on the layer one chain, and there's a lot of vulnerabilities. So, but, we have a blockchain that's native, that's second to none. And that sets us apart, beside the ownership component of our company.
We've only got a minute and a half left. We're just exploring other disruptive technologies in Hollywood. What about quantum computing? Is there a place in there for Hollywood?
I mean, that is a very interesting field. I mean, Google has the quantum computer. There's other people in the world that have quantum computing. I mean, I think there's a lot of benefits to quantum computing and problem solving, and on a global scale. I think it's brilliant. However, uh, quantum computing matched with artificial intelligence, you kind of sort of have to have an off switch, because large language models and I want to say machine learning, it is basically what artificial intelligence is, and it matters about the ethics above all of who's programming it. If it's programmed ethically, that's what you want, and you want other AIs to be ethical, to vet out other AIs that are not ethical,
Right.
because the only way to do this is it has to be ethical, or else you would definitely need some kind of an off switch. Because like in the movie 2001: Space Odyssey, you want HAL to run rogue. You don't want a
Mhm.
computer to run rogue if it's got AI. because you really want to use it for the benefit of humanity, not for nefarious reasons. So there's a lot of ethics involved, and I believe that's at the forefront. It must be dealt with first and foremost.
Look, and for me, that's part of the reason I do this show, is to come from a place of integrity. So, I think our audience is really going to appreciate that you're always thinking about the ethics of what you're doing. We've got Peter Antico here on Open Source.